Listen, the national and local blood supply has reached a critical level. It is not good. There is a multitude of different reasons behind that, but speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a shortage that we haven't seen in decades.
Is that right?
Yeah, and it is affecting our ability to get blood out to the hospitals. In fact, with the requests that we have coming in from our hospitals today, we can only supply about 50% of that demand. And that means that hospitals are having to do a number of different things. They're having to very carefully decide which major surgeries are going to go on. They have to check with us to make sure that we do have blood on the shelves to be able to deliver to them before they go ahead with that. So it's caused us to have to do things a lot differently and become a lot more careful. And then the flip side of that, the troublesome side of that is we have to also be able to supply blood for emergency purposes. And for that, we need to have blood on the shelves.
I will tell you this. This is the greatest audience as far as blood givers in the state of Mississippi, across any media demographics. We have people here across the entire state who care. But tell me a little bit, why do you think the reasons? Why is this almost a record period of shortage?
Well, we had the pandemic.
I know. We understand the pandemic.
And it sort of it shut us down for a while. We ended up canceling hundreds of blood drives. People were slow coming back out. And, with some of our routine donors, it became like a regular thing for them to do it. And we sort of got out of that rhythm. And that has had an impact on it. So we're trying to get our regular donors back into the swing of coming in and donating to us. But we also need to have new donors. As you were saying, Mississippians, I mean, we're the most charitable people in the country.
Yeah.
But our baby boomers, those are the ones that we could always depend on and count on. And the ones of us in the baby boom generation are sort of getting to the point where we're getting some illnesses and all of that. And we're not as healthy and can't donate as regularly.
Are you saying we dried up or what?
We haven't dried up, but those folks we depend on. Yeah,
we're the ones now needing blood sometimes.
Right, and we haven't gotten the same sort of response from the younger generations, and we've got to get them in the swing of becoming regular donors that we can depend on.
When you say regular, for people who don't know this, it's, from what I understand, physically it is a good idea for a vast majority of people. It's a physically good thing when you give blood for that individual, besides getting a cookie.
Yes, and a drink.
And a drink.
Yeah. I mean, your body replenishes your blood, and we draw some blood off. Your body revs up and replenishes all of that, and so it keeps you sort of refreshed and renewed.
We have changed some of the guidelines over the last many years about who could give and who could not give. And speak to that, because people still think, well, I'm on medication or I've got this or that. What's the guidelines? Because they have changed.
Yeah. Well, you can give if you're 17 years of age or older. 16 years of age you can give if you get parental consent. Now, there are some...
They have to be with you at that particular time?
Well, you have to just...
An adult has to be with you at the blood service.
Yeah, and sign the consent for you. And if you have any infectious diseases, so to speak, you got a fever or something like that, then we don't let you donate. You need to be symptom free for at least 14 days, and that's including if
STDs. If you have an STD,
those sort of things, you can't donate. And there's a list of reasons or medical conditions that might keep you from donating, and those are easily found on our website at www.
Let me ask you the most apparent one, and that's going to be COVID itself. If you've had COVID, can you give, and how long do you have to wait before you can give again?
If you've had an active case of COVID, then you need to wait 14 days.
14 days.
That you've been symptom-free before you give. Now, if you've had the COVID vaccine, that has no implication on you giving. You can give blood the same day that you get vaccinated.
Oh, is that right? So you don't have to wait just 14 days out from the vaccination?
You do not have to wait. The only waiting period is if you've had an active case of COVID. 14 days symptom-free.
I would imagine the same thing if you've got flu or something like that, or a pretty nasty cold.
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't take that long. They can get you in and out in a matter of less than an hour, about an hour?
Yeah. In fact, the blood draw part itself only takes 10 to 12 minutes. Now, we do have you do that personal history and questionnaire, And that altogether may take about an hour, and that's when we're asking you about.
But if you've done that
medical
one time, if you're a repeat donor, you don't have to do that every time, or do you?
Well, you'll have to, because we'll ask you about current infections and all of that. But you can go online and do that before you get there.
Is there what's the time period in between donations?
Well, if you're donating whole blood, 56 days in between being able to donate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're donating platelets or something like that, where we're just doing what we call apheresis and draining and taking off those components of the blood and giving you your blood back, anywhere between 2 weeks, or plasma, you can donate every few days.
The locations of Mississippi Blood Services are all located. They're all denoted on the website.
They are.
You got them all over the state.
We do. We have 3 main physical locations. That's one here in Flowood. We have a center in Oxford, and we have one in Cleveland. And then we have about 9 different blood draw stations around the state. And then our mobile units are all over the state.
Are you still doing the mobile units?
We are doing the mobile units, and if anyone is interested in getting a unit out in their community now, call us. We'll work with you to set it up, get your neighbors, your colleagues out, and let's get some blood drawn.
The type O blood, is there that shortage even more than the regular blood?
Yeah, I mean, type O is sort of the universal donor, and on our shelves right now, we only have about a 3-day supply. But we have some critical shortages of some of the other blood types. We have a critical need for A negative and B negative, and we have a severe shortage of B positive, O positive, O negative, and platelets. And so those are the ones that we really are in need of.
Most people know what type of blood they have.
They do, and if they don't, come down. We'll do your blood type for you and let you know.
Get it checked out. So the hours that the blood services are open, whether it's the mobile units or the bricks and mortar itself, are what, 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock? Or?
Yeah, we're open standard business hours, and some of the facilities may vary a little bit, but we can if we need to do some special things for folks, if we're going to get a large number of folks in, we'll do that too.
So to this family across the state, would you please put that down if you can, if you've got a few extra minutes to go by, or call them, get on the web, make your appointment, and get on board. We need your help.
Let me just say this, Paul.
Certainly.
With us being the most charitable folks in the country, there is nothing better you can do than to give a gift of a blood donation. That is literally the gift of life.
Roll up your sleeve and save a life. It's that simple.
It is that simple.
Doc, thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much.